All right. Welcome back to the Chasing Winners College Football Edition. Kyle Massaloni here with JP Lyon. As always, we are in week 13. If you know anything about college football, that means Thanksgiving week, rivalry week, last week of the regular season, Michigan Ohio State week, pretty much. J- JP is out in California in a hotel room. Per usual, one of us is always in a hotel room. JP, how are you feeling about getting up at 9 a.m. to watch Nebraska and Iowa and Michigan and Ohio State this week? More importantly, Nebraska and Iowa.
I gotta say, not in a hotel room. This is in an off suite or on suite, like it's a separate building that's on the Airbnb we're staying in. I don't know how to explain it, but my grandma let me use it. It's very quiet compared to the main house. Um, Secondly, um, super psyched to get up and watch Nebraska. That's why my dad and I scheduled a tea time for 8 a.m. that day, so we don't have to watch it. Although I'll probably pull it up in the cart and make him watch it because he's not going to want to watch Nebraska at all. Um, so we'll pull it up, but we'll probably be back in time for any real football.
Hey, my Miami Boston College is also on. That's real.
Yeah,
That's real
I said
football
what
right
I said.
there. Yeah. So we both didn't have a great week last week. One of us still nudged ahead somehow, some way, off of a hook. JP, give us the records for last week.
So if you've been following the show at all, you know exactly who nudged out who. Um, every time we both have a good week, both have a bad week. Usually that means Kyle's the one that had the better record, and it came true again this week with Kyle going 5-9-1, 2-4 on podcast picks, lost his best bet, and I go 5-10 because Kyle somehow got Rutgers plus 21, and I got Rutgers plus 20, and the hook always goes against me. I'm just gonna say that with no proof. So I went 5-10. Much better late slate for me. It looks like I lost my first eight, so that's not ideal. And I was also 2-4 on pod picks and lost my best bet. But podcast parlay hit last week, plus 194. That's our biggest hit of the year, and we moved to 0.82 units. We are in the positive for the first time in a couple weeks, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only the fifth time we've hit all year, so we're five out of 12 or 5 out of 11 because we didn't go last week. 5 and 6 on a parlay isn't too bad.
And in the positive, that's what matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
whether,
Exactly.
whether it's point 0.9 units or 15, we're positive.
I would like 15 better actually.
I would like 15 a lot better when I said that out. But yeah, somehow James Franklin just always finds a way to cover, but somehow I bet it. I remember I bet it like 5-10 minutes before it moved from 21 to 20, and I was hyped about that because
The CLV is what you got.
I knew James Franklin was going to find a way somehow to screw both of us, but he
Yeah.
only ended up screwing you. All right, into the games this week. This was actually a late swap, as in literally right before we got on the podcast and saw what this line actually was to get this game in here. It is the game we actually referenced a few minutes ago. Not the big one, not the big one we referenced, the other one. Number 17 Iowa on the road against Nebraska. It's a noon Black Friday game on CBS. Nebraska are 2.5 point favorites. Let me take a deep breath here for a minute. The over under is 26.5. Um, let's Let's go back to that 2.5 point line. JP, what the hell is going on here? Iowa has a spot in the Big Ten championship, yet goes to Nebraska and are 2.5 point dogs. What is going on?
So this can only be, I mean, it is a rivalry game, so Nebraska's going to play hard. Iowa already has that Big Ten championship locked up, but they'll also probably play hard in a rivalry game, so technically rivalry game. Nebraska at home. Nebraska trying to make a bowl game now that they've lost like their last 3, and they're trying to lose 4 in a row to miss out on bowl eligibility. I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think if you set the over/under for Iowa or for interceptions by the Iowa defense today or tomorrow at 3.5, I'd probably take the over. Probably get one from both quarterbacks in Nebraska plays. So I'm having trouble doing anything with this. Public's also somehow on Nebraska because it's 62%,
What?
which doesn't make any sense.
People just really hate Iowa, don't they?
Yeah, I do. I hate Iowa.
Yeah, yeah, same. Same. I hate watching, but I don't know how the public would be. The public has bewildered me this year multiple times, but this seems like a game that's set up for everybody to go on Iowa and for Iowa to lose.
Yeah. So, I mean, they confused the hell out of us last week, and we lost. So we're probably going to lose again. I'm going to do it taking Nebraska -2.5. I will wear my Nebraska shirt after I get back from golf, and I'll probably do it in a losing fashion.
Dude, last week, I cannot believe we did not cover that Iowa spread. At least push it. The missed extra point, like I was out. It was my brother's birthday. I was out celebrating with him. They had a different game on, but I was following it on my phone, the Iowa game. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh no. Oh no, 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 no." Like I show my brother, I'm like, "We got this. We're covering because he was on or we're pushing because he was on Iowa -3 too." And then I'm just like, "Oh no. We're not."
Yeah, that was I was watching from an airport lounge. I was watching, I think they had the UNC game on TV, and then was that UNC Clemson? Would make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. They had that on TV, and I had Illinois, Iowa on my phone, um, down on the counter. And I was like, if people looked at me right now, I don't know what they would think. Just sitting there, getting free drinks, and watching the Iowa game on my phone. It's just one of the sadder things I've done.
Yeah, that's not pretty. But the funniest thing is because the Big Ten divisions are so out of whack, and this is the last year. I was playing for a Big Ten championship next week, so I guess the feeling is that they're overlooking this Nebraska game. My thing with it is, oh man, the totals the totals 26.5. Like I don't know what to do with this game. It feels like yet another like 13-10 Iowa game. Um so I'm gonna take Iowa +2.5. I'll probably bet the money line as well. I
Mm.
it's a noon game on Black Friday. I'll be looking to just lay on the couch and do nothing and watch Miami probably lose to Boston College and Iowa probably beat Nebraska in a absolute dog shit game. When I probably should be watching TCU Oklahoma because that'll actually be exciting. But
Yeah. I think if
you're cutting out.
on the couch Let me see which Wi-Fi I'm on.
You cut out on
I think
that
I'm back.
entire thought.
Yeah. Back in, since I have bad internet, I was gonna say if you're gonna lie on the couch and be lazy on the morning of Black Friday, I was also looking to do exactly that. That's a good reason for you to take them.
Your sound didn't cut there, but your video was cutting. Like your video didn't move. I guess if we have your sound, we're fine. Your frozen face is very funny.
Oh, good.
All right, we're back. Some technical difficulties here. JP's in a different room now, as you see. At least we did it like in between games and not right as we're breaking down a game. So we're just gonna move on here to 8:30 p.m. on Fox on Black Friday. Number 16 Oregon State going to Eugene to play number 6 Oregon. It would be nice if I had the lines up. Oregon are 14-point favorites. The over-under is 62.5. A little more of an exciting game here, JP. What are you thinking? Are Oregon the best team? Oregon the best team in the Pac-12 here?
It certainly seems that way. Oregon is, I'd say, the most complete team. I think they have a very good shot to, I'd say, pull off an upset against Washington next week, but they're not even going to be. They're going to be the favorites. So, I think Oregon is in. You can't really call it a look-ahead spot with Oregon State being highly ranked and a big rival. But I'd say Oregon State probably keeps this closer than 14 points, just based on your rivalry technique. But I'm going to take Oregon State plus 14. If Oregon beats them by 30, then it wouldn't shock me, just based on how good Oregon is. But I think Oregon State's defense can try and keep it closer than that.
Yeah, I mean it was a super rainy game last week, but they stopped Washington to 22 points, which is a pretty big success for any defense. So yeah, I think I'm going Oregon State plus 14 here. I think Oregon wins, obviously. I think Oregon State covers, but if Oregon State somehow wins, that will create a chaos theory. That will create chaos that gets Arizona into the Pac-12 championship game.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So let me check the standings here. Yeah, because I think they have the tie break. I'll just confirm here. Yeah, so that'll create a tie between Arizona and Oregon. I believe I need to look at the tiebreaker scenarios to be 100% certain here, but I believe Arizona actually has that tiebreak.
That's interesting.
So yeah, that has the potential to create some chaos, but like I said, I don't think that chaos happens. I think this game is close though. I think it's definitely within 2 possessions, the 14. So I'm going to take Oregon State. I'm going to take Oregon State plus 14. But how about that if Arizona just shocks the world and wins the Pac-12? That would
Put
be
them in the
electric.
CFP.
That would be absolutely electric if Arizona and Louisville are the Pac-12 and ACC champions after this whole year. That would be fun. Now we're getting to the game of the week, probably the game of the year. Saturday after Thanksgiving, noon, per usual. Number 2 Ohio State on the road to number 3 Michigan. Michigan are 3.5-point favorites. Jim Harbaugh will be sitting at home watching on his TV. but still gets to coach practice, still gets the game plan. Fully normal. Over under here is 46 and a half. 46. We'll get to hear a lot of Gus Johnson screaming here. JP, this is a loaded game because winner probably goes to the college football playoff, pending they beat Iowa next week, which will probably happen. Loser does not. Oh my.
Huge game, obviously. The Harbaugh situation adds a wrinkle. Public 80%. Ohio State adds a wrinkle. Obviously, they're just doing exactly what you and I would do, was look at the game and take that hook. So for me, I think both teams are playing like complete football right now. So I'm gonna say Michigan does it for Harbaugh. I'm gonna take Michigan minus 3.5. They already have the Buckeyes signed, so maybe that'll help. But I'm gonna back the blue. Wait, hold on. No, I didn't mean it like that. I don't want us to get canceled. Taking the Wolverines minus 3.5.
God, this is so tough. Now just hearing that public line really put a wrench in my thoughts here. I was so ready to just jump on Ohio State plus the hook because this is going to be within 3 points, man. This is two of either way. This is two of the best teams in the country legitimately. I don't want to say the two best because I think Georgia and Oregon have that are the first and second best teams in the country. But God, this is 3 and 4 in my mind. These are two playoff teams going at it. I know one of them's going to miss out. God, if Ohio State loses, do they still have a chance to inch their way in somehow? I mean, it would take chaos. It would take Florida State losing. It would take Louisville losing. It would probably take Georgia beating Bama.
If Florida State loses and Louisville wins out, do you think Louisville's in?
No.
Over Ohio State? I don't think so. No.
Louisville lost to Pitt. There's no way they could get in.
Yeah, good point. Good point there. I think the Pac-12 winner, if it's Washington or Oregon, is in regardless. If Michigan beats Ohio State and Michigan loses to Iowa, what do you do?
Oh shit, that's right. That is a possible thing that could happen, which is just mind blowing. I think if Iowa wins the Big Ten, you may have to keep them both out.
And then you're throwing Georgia and Pac-12, and if the ACC loses out, maybe you throw Texas in if they win.
Yeah, Texas would be in. If Bama beats Georgia, they both would be in.
None of this will happen, but it's fun to think about.
Oh, no, it's always fun to think about the most chaotic scenario, but this year seems like a year that's going to go straight forward and somebody's going to get screwed.
Yeah, I do think as far as playoff expansion goes, if this is essentially a playoff elimination game, essentially, given or if there isn't chaos. So just having this in the first round or the second round of an 8 or 12 team playoff makes total sense to me. Might as well have this game there.
Well, yeah, but then they would play each other twice.
Well, it wouldn't be this exact game. It would be they'd play each other here for positioning and who gets to play Louisville and who has to play Georgia. So the game matters.
I guess that is true because either of these teams would wipe the floor with Louisville. But back to the game itself. I I I don't know where to go. Ohio State's firing on all cylinders right now. Their last game that was within 10 points was, or within 14 points even, was Penn State all those weeks ago in October. Michigan had an absolute struggle last week, but it could have been a look ahead spot for them. It probably was a look ahead spot for them, but Ohio State still took care of business, 137-3. It's just tough for me to overlook how good Ohio State looks right now. I have to do it. I'm going with the public. I'm being a complete square
Pile
here.
the
I'm going Ohio
square.
State plus 3.5. Ugh. Don't know if I like it. It's the game for both to just lose to Iowa next week. I can't wait. I can't wait to be an idiot and say Iowa, since the hypothetical line for both teams is Iowa plus 20, is 20 or 21 and a half, is 21 or 21 and a half. I forget which one is which, but I'm going to be on that Iowa side and I'm going to get bludgeoned.
We do it every year with the Big West
Yep.
champion.
Yep. All right, moving on here. What noon on ABC at the same time as Michigan Ohio State, so it's obviously going a bit under the radar. Kentucky, unranked Kentucky traveling to number 10 Louisville. Louisville are 7-point favorites. The over/under's 50.5. Louisville already has a spot in the ACC championship game, so they're not fretting. They're not really fretting this probably, but God, it would be nice for them to finish top 10. JP, what do you think here? I think this may be a tough spot for Louisville.
Yeah, I don't think it's an easy game for them by any stretch. The only thing that I keep thinking about is Devin Leary. It's just the only Devin Leary against the Louisville defense is just not a matchup that any Kentucky fan can be enjoying. So I'm gonna back Louisville here. I think they can cover this spread. Um, they don't. They're not gonna be looking ahead because I don't know, just because I say so. I don't know. I think Louisville's just the better team, and even in a rivalry game, um, if they can, stretch it out to double digits by the third quarter, I think this is a 7-point cover for sure.
Yeah, God, I didn't realize how bad it's gotten for Tennessee. For Kentucky. Like, oof, gave up 38 against Missouri, 33 against Tennessee, 49 against Bama. Not bad, but they lost to the Cox last week. Oh man, yeah. Shit. What's the public line on this?
It's only 56% Louisville. Tightest, or no, 52% was Oregon, so 56 Louisville is the second tightest of the week.
It's it's a Louisville home game. They haven't won the Governor's Cup is what this rivalry is called. They haven't won the Governor's Cup since 2017.
Hmm.
So you know what? I think I may be talking myself into the Louisville side. They're not going to be overlooking this game. They haven't won it since 2017. They have a Florida State on the other side that's crippled, of course. They lost their quarterback.
Naturally.
um, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I don't think Louisville's that good, which is hilarious, but I think there is a path for them to be 12-1 and win the ACC.
And have lost to Pitt.
And have lost to Pitt. Like, imagine they didn't lose to Pitt. What we would be talking about right now, we would be talking about this downright, like, God, I hate calling them a mediocre team, but a downright mediocre team. Just, I feel like, I guess, just like TCU last year, undefeated
Mhm.
with a shot at the playoff.
If Florida State, since you're talking ACC, if Florida State beats Florida and Louisville, are they in without Jordan Travis?
Yes, they should be.
And now they're not. That goes back to Ohio State, Michigan will take care of itself. So you still have 4 teams there, but
Because
um,
if Louisville wins this game, I know in my opinion they're kind of mediocre. I watched them play I watched them play a full game last week. They're not very good. But that will be a top 10 matchup between Florida State and Louisville if they both win. So they will have technically beat a top 10 team without Jordan Travis going undefeated throughout the season. I think that's good enough for FSU to be in.
yeah, I agree. Also, sidebar, shout out to Iona. You like the under in the UNC game, Kyle?
Who Yeah, why not?
Under anything else?
Eh,
Take a look at it and text me if you like anything.
I have UNC money line in a parlay, but we're not betting that straight up. It's minus 800.
App State, Murray State also starts at the same time. But that's it.
All right, back to college football here. Um, yeah, Louisville -7. They'll get the job done here, and then have a gigantic game on the horizon. Is there enough chaos that could happen for Louisville to get into the playoff? We could talk about this more next week. I feel like we're going playoff heavy right now, but like it's very interesting. Like I don't think there is enough chaos that could happen for Louisville to get in. There's enough for them to maybe get up to like number 6, number 7, but I don't think there is enough chaos that could happen.
I think it takes Arizona winning the Pac-12, obviously. Um, they probably need Iowa to win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
If Texas loses and Georgia wins out, Bama won't be in. Um, Texas won't be in. So and then do you take a Washington team that's 12-1 with a loss to Arizona? Do you take the Big Ten East champion that lost to Iowa? Or do you take Louisville that lost to Pitt?
I mean, Iowa's the better loss.
Yeah. I think you're still taking the Big Ten teams. That's Georgia and the Big Ten team. Is there another conference I'm forgetting? Pac-12, Big Ten, SEC? No.
Texas.
Yeah, if they lose to whoever they play.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
because
then
that's
maybe you take a Washington, a Georgia, a Michigan if they lose to Iowa, and then a Louisville, right? Because it wouldn't be Oregon. Wouldn't be Oregon, Bama, Texas.
God, it's so funny. Let me pull up Louisville's schedule again.
Wouldn't be Florida State.
I think their best win this season is either Duke or Miami. Oh
Well,
no,
it's about to be Florida
Notre
State.
Dame happened. Notre Dame
Yeah, Notre
happened.
Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could engineer a scenario.
God, that would be just the ultimate chaos scenario. That would be Josh Pate has been talking about the bomb drop week. That would be the bomb drop week happening on Champ Week, which I don't think has happened in a long time. Next game here, 3:30, probably CBS. I'm getting down to it right now. Yep, 3:30 CBS game as it is every year. The Iron Bowl, number 8 Alabama on the road against Auburn. A lot of highly ranked teams playing 6 and 5 teams to close out the year here, which is just hilarious. Alabama 14.5 point favorites. Over under is 48.5. I think this one may be fairly straightforward.
Yep. Take the underdog. Exactly what I was thinking.
Auburn's coming off a loss to New Mexico State as well, which
That's
is
just a wild loss. Just a wild loss for them. I see that loss. It really comes down to whether you think Bama is legit. Legit as in, if you take out the loss to Texas, they are a playoff team.
Yeah,
They probably are.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they're probably a good team, probably a legit team. So in rivalry week, Auburn at home, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Auburn's at home.
I think it comes down to the hook, Kyle.
You may be right. If you're a Bama fan, are you more scared now that they lost to New Mexico State than you would have been if they just handled business? Because I think I would.
You should absolutely be wondering if Hugh Freeze is calling out the strippers, calling them all back. Open the bag of tricks, Hugh. Let's go make this game close. I'm gonna go with 59% of the public and take Auburn plus 14.5.
Oh man, I think this may be close until halftime. It'll be one of those games where it's like 3 points at halftime, and then Bama just completely opens it up. I'm going Bama minus 14.5 here. I'm taking the hook. I don't think Auburn's a good football team. The loss last week, it's funny, actually, like I said, scares me a little more about this. If they didn't lose last week, I would say Bama by 28.
Mm-hmm.
But the hook scares me a little bit. If I'm being honest, the hook definitely terrifies me, but I'm gonna take it for the purpose of the pod here. I'll buy it down when we actually bet it. But Alabama minus 14.5 is my play here. Now watch the line extend out, and I can't buy down that hook. But
yeah, till it gets up to 17.
yeah, but I'm going Bama minus 14.5 on the current line.
Yeah, that's definitely a game where I might just end up betting Bama, even though I pick Auburn here. I'd also like to say I was on New Mexico State plus 25 last week, so that was nice.
Let's go. That was about the easiest hit you've had all season, probably.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Which is just so funny. Next up here, finally, the big, I guess the big primetime game of the week. I mean, the ABC game is Iowa, it's Georgia and Georgia Tech. Fox game, yeah. I guess this is the big primetime game of the week. 7 p.m. ESPN. Number 5 Florida State on the road against 5 and 6 Florida, looking for bowl eligibility here. Both starting quarterbacks are out. FSU is a 6.5 point favorite, over under 62.5. The next 2 weeks are about the biggest weeks in the last, God, probably since 2014 for Florida State. And they're without their star quarterback. Because just of course.
Yeah.
How are you feeling on this one? I don't know.
Well, I was going to ask you as a Miami fan, how does it feel to see these two teams in these positions?
Well, Florida suck. Florida's worse than us. So, yeah, I'm very happy about that. We have Miami has Florida week 1 this year, the first time we play them since the 2019 week 0 debacle, which was the game that was just so bad that it was entertaining. Not sure if you remember that one, but oh no, it was 2019. It was Manny Diaz's first year, first game ever.
Mm. Oh, I think I do. Remember that.
It was the only week 0 game. It was one of those where ESPN tried to do the big week 0 game one year
And
and
it was
then
just a
realized
horrible
that the
game.
big teams just aren't prepared for it. But but yeah, so it definitely pains me to see Florida State in this situation. I am actually cheering for Florida as a fan on Saturday to get them out of contention because it's also karma hit them very, very badly. Because I'm not sure if you probably don't see Miami and Florida State the Twitter rivalry as much as I do.
No.
But they were making fun of the fact that Emory Williams got injured in our game. They were like it was like Emory Williams if Mario Cristobal rolls him out against Louisville, and it was just like one of those slinky arms moving back and forth. And then that week Jordan Travis comes out and is injured and is out for the season as well now.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I will never cheer for an injury. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
I I hate the fact that FSU can't lose this game and next week with Jordan Travis, but here we are. Um, um, it's a little bit of karma for those fans, to say the least, that we're making fun of our true freshman quarterback breaking his arm. Now their redshirt, now their fifth year senior quarterback, superstar, injures his arm before the biggest 2 game stretch in a decade for them.
Yeah, it does sound like karma.
I just had to get that out there. Now, back to the game at hand. I believe Graham Mertz is out in this spot as well, which is just wonderful. I'm gonna confirm that.
Didn't he
That
break his
is
collarbone?
Yes, he did. He's out. He is most certainly out. But yeah, I'm still gonna go Florida plus 6.5 anyways.
Oof. With the hook. And 72% of the public.
Yeah. 72% of the public's on Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Square Kyle's back.
Square Kyle's completely back this week. I think Florida State can eke this game out probably. 4 point win maybe. It'll be fun. It'll be chaotic. It will be everything you expect a Florida team rivalry to be. But I think Florida is good enough to cover here without Travis playing.
Yeah, I think they have to rely on the run game, but as long as their backup is good enough to be a game manager, I don't know. I feel like they can beat a bad Florida team and cover that spread.
Florida with their yeah, Mertz played most of the game last week actually. Max Brown, their backup, came in late. 4 for 5 for 55 yards if you want his stat line. Not much to read into last week for Florida State's backup, considering they were playing North Alabama.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot.
No, but his line was 13 for 23 for 217 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Against North Alabama, an FCS team. Florida was playing Missouri and ended up losing by 2 points. I'm gonna. I hate that it's the public line, but I'm gonna go Florida here. So you are on Florida State, correct?
I am, yes. -6.5.
Okay. Another game we're against each other here. Rivalry week is rearing its head.
Rivalry week, and we're against each other on 4 games.
4 of the 6, yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna somehow split them and then tie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's definitely what's gonna happen. All right, so JP, anything you're looking at for best bet this week?
I'm looking at obviously another rivalry game. Clemson is playing South Carolina. South Carolina, as we all know, is very bad. They're a very bad team. Clemson is hitting their stride. Late season move. They beat up on UNC last week, and they're coming into this game without a shot to make the ACC championship, obviously, as we've talked about, but they can still put themselves in position for a good bowl game. Was it going to be 8-4 if they win this one? You probably know better than me.
Yes, 8-4.
So from where they
they're
were
ranked right now. They're ranked,
and they're ranked.
So they'll get themselves in a good bowl game if they could win.
From where they were at the start of the season, for those first 4 weeks, this is really quite the turnaround. So they're only 7-point favorites against South Carolina, and I like them to cover that spread. Clemson -7 is my best bet of the week.
Hell, you could stretch it out to the first 6 weeks. Clemson was 4-4 and coming off a 2-game losing streak to Miami and NC State.
Mm-hmm.
And then rattled off the 3 wins that they did. So they're rounding back out into form. It's too late. It's too late to do anything for them. But guess who has a win over a ranked team now?
Oh, good for you guys.
I saw somebody call us the best 6-5 team of all time. I'm like, is that a compliment? Like,
potentially. I think we should.
Oh no.
I can also rank. I cut out.
You cut out there.
I'm back. I'm not editing this one.
All right.
Hello?
I don't know what you said, but I'm gonna play it off then. So my best bet here. Are you there? Your screen's frozen.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Screen's frozen. Your mic's working.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna go over to the CW network at 2:00. What a network. They bought NXT TV rights. What wonderful. Syracuse are 3-point favorites over Wake Forest in a game that is most certainly not a rivalry game on rivalry week. Syracuse have just fired their coach, Dino Babers, after going 1-6 in the last 7 games. This is a positive that they fired their coach because they may actually have somebody who knows how to manage a game now. So Wake Forest are atrocious. They're not a good football team this year, as you could see by the fact that Syracuse is somehow favored against them. I'm going to go back to the well. Syracuse are trying to be bowl eligible, which is their goal every year, by the way. Their goal at this point is to get the bowl eligibility. And for that reason, I'm going to go Syracuse -3 because they're going to be playing their ass off for an interim coach. And yeah, new coach bump, soccer term.
Probably a good call.
And then for rivalry week, we're going back to the well with something we did once this season. The
Twice. We did it
podcast twice. Okay. The podcast teaser. We're trying to stay positive. We're trying to stay positive on that podcast parlay / teaser route here. JP, what's the leg of the teaser you're giving us?
Okay, so I am looking at the podcast teaser, and we have kind of a theme for the teaser this week. And it's things that won't necessarily exist in the same fashion or at all after this season. So my leg is a rivalry in the Big 12 that absolutely should be protected. It's mind-boggling that they don't protect it, but I'm looking at Farmageddon this week. Kansas State, Iowa State. Iowa State's traveling to Manhattan, the Little Apple, and Kansas State is a 10-point favorite. We're teasing that down to 4. Kansas State -4 is my leg of the podcast teaser.
And then my leg here, we're looking at what a sad day this is. The last Pac-12 after dark game as we know it. 10:30 ESPN. You better all be staying up for this because we all need to mourn the loss of degenerate Pac-12 after dark. UCLA are 9-point favorites against Cal. We're going to be teasing that UCLA line down to -3 and getting a nice 6-point teaser there. And mourning the end of Pac-12 after dark. Also, funny thing, the ending of Pac-12 network. Notre Dame is playing on Pac-12 network this week. People are going to be so mad. This is just like the perfect ending to the Pac-12 network as we know it. Notre Dame.
I think the perfect ending might be like throwing Ohio State, Michigan on there.
Well, yeah, but that's just not possible. Notre Dame's about the best we're gonna get on the Pac-12 network.
Yeah. So yeah, podcast teaser is back. Probably for the last time this week, unless we throw in for the conference championships next week. But -120 after the tease. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish before we hop off here?
We do a cornbread casserole. Naturally, it's Midwest makes everything a casserole.
Oh, of course.
But it's like cornbread mix, a couple different types of corn, and then you just bake it in the oven. It's fantastic. So easy that I can make it, so that now I make it every year, and it's my favorite dish. How about you?
Stuffing always.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
Is it stuffing or dressing?
Stuffing. It's stuffing.
Okay.
It's
in the turkey.
Yes.
Okay, good.
But also outside of the turkey.
Well, that would be dressing.
No. we do things differently in the Northeast, clearly.
I know.
On that note, everybody, of course, have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you get to enjoy whatever your favorite dish is tomorrow. Some NFL football. We're recording this on Wednesday, by the way. When I say tomorrow, some NFL football, the Egg Bowl, some good stuff going on. Some good stuff going on for you to watch when you're in a food coma as well. And hope everybody has enjoyed the whole season. We will probably obviously be back for one next week. Best of luck, everybody, this week. Watch all the games, enjoy them, like, share, subscribe, do all that. I'm going on a little rant here, so I'm going to sign off, everybody. Have a good one.
Don't forget it's basketball season now, so pay more attention to that. See y'all.
Miami are number 10.
I was gonna say that's big. That's big for you.
Huge.